Can you trust The Verge? Hey there, friends on YouTube. My name is Jason, sometimes known as the JTL. This is Painfully Honest Tech. Tech so honest it hurts. If this is your first time here and you want to come back again, then you can do things that allow you to know how to do that. And if you've been here before, thank you so much for coming back yet again. I really do appreciate it. Let's get into the discussion. If you pay attention to the tech space at all, you probably heard about the fiasco that happened a couple of weeks ago where apparently the lawyers from the Verge's parent company, Vox Media, assessed copyright strikes were warranted on a couple of YouTube channels, namely Bitwit and Review Tech USA. They had made videos either reacting to or parodying a video The Verge had released months before about how to build a PC. That build video was laughably misguided and misguiding and deserved to have the ridicule. Whether those two channels had in fact broken fair use law was questionable. The irony of ironies is, while the stricken videos did have Verge content in them, and there may have been some question about whether or not it was fair use, right now on YouTube, on a channel called Ash Garcia, there's a republished version of the PC build that The Verge took down. It's been there since September 22nd, 2018. That video, which is nothing but a straight repost of the PC build video The Verge took down, remains live and has over 200,000 views. How does that not qualify as breaking fair use laws? To try and quell the outrage over the delivery of the copyright strikes, Verge editor-in-chief Nilay Patel wrote an explainer post in the Verge's forums in the Meta section, where The Verge and others talk about The Verge. Why it wasn't made a public-facing post on their website so everybody could see it instead of being stuck in a back corner in the forums where most people who visit that site probably don't go, is unknown. You'll have to ask Nilay for an explanation of that. But to even the most casual observer, this sure seems like an attempt to bury the post. I can see why they'd want to hide it too. The excuses given for the strikes were pretty poor, especially when, as I mentioned, there's a full repost of the video sitting there pirated on another YouTube channel that's still there. Whether Patel didn't know about the actions of the Verge's legal team as he claims, he still, in that post, doubled down on the actions of his parent company, saying, "I told them that although I fully agreed with their legal argument, I did not think we should use copyright strikes against legitimate channels, even if we thought the videos crossed the line. And again, I fully agree with our legal team that these videos crossed the line of fair use." Patel deftly puts himself in the hero position here by A, claiming ignorance to these actions beforehand, and B, then swooping in and saving the day by having the strikes removed, though he still thought they were breaking copyright law. Yeah. What a swell guy. Not once, to my knowledge, did The Verge reach out to the aggrieved creators to apologize or explain or endeavor to start a larger conversation about copyright and YouTube and the internet at large. Here's a moment when Nilay Patel, the folks at The Verge, could have led a discussion and maybe even saved some face, but instead they buried themselves in excuses on The Verge's moribund forums. They called out the community for reacting poorly to all this, and the community does deserve some criticism here. It's often too quick to judge and too harsh in doing so, and there are always those who take things just a little bit too far. And The Verge proceeded to gaslight these creators who they had damaged by making them seem like they had been the people in the wrong all along, and The Verge was doing them a solid, never taking any responsibility for the situation themselves. Ironically, a week or so before, The Verge published an article entitled "YouTube's Copyright Strikes Have Become a Tool for Extortion." That article detailed how some nefarious individuals had been assessing illegitimate copyright strikes on channels in order to extort money from them. They would put the strike on and then they'd say, "Hey, we'll take it off if you give us money." Now, it's not the same thing as what The Verge did, but it's still too close. The irony is so thick here that I could slice a chunk off, put it on some bread, and have it for lunch. Extra pickles, please. Here's the thing you have to know about The Verge. They are not like other creators on YouTube or bloggers on the internet. YouTube's tech community was built primarily through grassroots entrepreneurial spirit. Some of the biggest creators in the tech space started out when they were kids in their bedrooms and have grown in time to be big-time moneymakers and their own media entities in their own right. That's the kind of story that's at the core of the YouTube origin story, and it's central to the relationship between viewers and creators. That's a relationship that is built over time. The Verge is a media company owned by a larger media company, Vox Media. Vox Media owns a lot of other media entities like The Verge. Vox Media is backed by other large media companies and venture capitalists like Excel Partners, Comcast Ventures, Colosa Ventures, General Atlantic, and NBC Universal, according to Vox's website. Looking at this list, it's pretty obvious that The Verge, by way of its parent company, who ultimately answer to their investors, is not anything like the new media creators that YouTube is a home for and that YouTube represents. That's not to say The Verge is evil, not necessarily, but there are wheels within wheels here, and that's important for us as consumers of their content to be aware of. This is not an indictment against the individuals who work at The Verge. They're writers, editors, videographers, etc., who were hired by a company to do a job, and many of them do that job very well. This is instead a wake-up call to all of us out here that The Verge and other entities like The Verge are part of the old media. The media that has been decimated by the new media that YouTube represents. If you're a YouTuber, The Verge is not your friend. You're competing for ad dollars that they ultimately, in one way or another, expected to get. If you're a consumer, be aware that the driving force behind The Verge is not only love for the topics they cover, but they're also beholden to much bigger companies with much different concerns than writing great articles and making great videos. That, in some way, has to influence their content. Done correctly, a publication can walk that line between being upstanding member of the online community and a solid journalistic entity. However, The Verge, particularly in these recent issues and how they've dealt with these recent issues, has not done a very good job of finding that balance. So, can you trust The Verge? No. Again, the individuals who work there seem to be fine people. They're doing largely good work, but the entity itself has shown itself to be tone deaf, hypocritical, sometimes hostile to the online community that it claims to be a part of. Do I want to trust The Verge? Yeah, of course I do. I mean, they try hard. Sure, but they've got a ways to go before they ever earn even a sliver of my trust back. What do you guys think? Can you trust The Verge? Do you trust The Verge? Let me know down in the comments. I'm really interested to hear what you guys have to say. Let's have a boisterous discussion about this issue. Again, if this was your first time here and you want to come on back again and visit with me sometime soon, maybe another Can You Trust video, maybe some reviews, maybe some tech-related stuff, then here are some things that you can do that will help you do that. And if you've been here before, whether it's one time or many, thank you so much for being here. I really do appreciate it. It means a lot to me, and I say that every video, but it's true. It's true. It does mean a lot to me. Once again, my name is Jason, sometimes known as the JTL. This is Painfully Honest Tech. Tech so honest it hurts. Until the next time, I'm out. Hey, you're still here and you haven't left yet, and maybe you want to watch another video. There are a couple of videos here that I suggest that maybe you want to check out. Also, hit me on the social medias over there, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and I'd love to have you back again sometime soon. Thank you so much for being here.